It's Wednesday, and this week we're going through the uh, Rites of Eleusis from Crowley's Seven Planetary Rites of Eleusis. Uh, we're not reading the whole rite; that would just take too long. But we are reading excerpts from it, and we're doing it not in the order that they were mounted or performed, which is coming straight down the tree of life from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but according to the days of the week. So today is Wednesday, so we're going to do Mercury. Now, of the seven rites, the Rite of Mercury, Crowley probably wrote it second to the last in the series of his labor as he was writing this. And you could tell that his the energy that he put into, say, Saturn and Jupiter and Sol were extraordinary, and he poured a lot of energy and genius into it. By the time he got to Mercury, uh, it seemed like his energy level might have been less than it was for the previous one. So at least that's how I observe it. And but nonetheless, the Rite of Mercury is an extraordinarily elegant invocation, magical classical invocation of Mercury, and it's inserted within the format of the Rites of Eleusis. So I really want to get to the invocation, the magic part of it, with the time we have this morning. So the officers of the Rite of Mercury are very simple. There's some probationers. There's four probationers uh, that do a lot of the kind of poetic heavy lifting in this one. But there's Mercury, and he's in a violet robe. And there's Frater and Soror Gemini, and they wear white dancing robes and a black robe. Then there's Virgo in a green robe. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, so that's why we've got the Gemini twins going for us. But Virgo is extremely important because Virgo not only rules Mercury, or not only does Mercury rule Virgo, but Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So in other words, Mercury rules the sign of Virgo, and when Mercury's in Virgo, Virgo is very happy to play host to Virgo. So Mercury's enthroned between the twins, and at the west of the altar is Virgo, along with the four probationers. Starts pretty much like an invocation. The knock, Mercury is the eighth emanation on the tree of life, so the knocks will add up to 8. So it's 2, 3, 3. That's the knock to get Mercury's attention. Now, I posted on my Facebook page, just directly beneath this entry here, the word stabilimephisis. I'm going to explain that before this is over. But it starts right off with material, modules, if you will, ritual modules for the invocation of Mercury. This is Mercury speaking. The speech in the silence. The words against the son of night. The voice of Mercury in the universe in the presence of the eternal gods. The formulas of knowledge, the wisdom of breath, the radix of vibration, the shaking of the invisible, the rolling asunder of the darkness, the becoming visible of matter, the piercing of the coils of the stooping dragon, the breaking forth of the light. Isn't that awesome? Coming out of silence and darkness, okay? The opening act of creation. The probationers get up and knock. Brethren, let us kindle the holy perfumes in honor of the most divine God. And they all answer, Hail unto the most divine Lord Mercury. Our brother, child of the voice, we ask thee for thy help. Wilt thou purify the temple that we may proceed with the invocation? And here's, I am one with you. They're getting the temple prepared. And as he performs the banishing ritual of the hexagram, and so let the rites of Mercury be celebrated. Mercury himself reads both the Gemini and Virgo sections from 963, or the Treasure House of Images. Now, I'm not going to read both of them, but I am going to read Virgo, because perhaps there is no better example of how Fuller, in these magical prose poems, goes through the zodiac signs with his adorations. This is the 12-fold beseechment of God and the unity thereof. So because this is Virgo, the first one starts with Virgo, the second one will be Libra, Scorpio, okay, through the entire zodiac wheel. So Virgo would be, oh, I adore thee by the 12 beseechments and by the unity thereof. Virgo. O thou mighty God, make me as a fair virgin that is clad in the bluebells of the fragrant hillside. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may ring out the melody of thy voice and be clothed in the pure light of thy loveliness. O thou God, my God. Libra. O thou mighty God, make me as a balance of rubies and jet that is cast in the lap of the sun. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may flash forth the wonder of thy brightness and melt into the perfect poise of thy being. O thou God, my God. Scorpio. O thou mighty God, make me as a brown scorpion that creepeth on through the vast desert of silver. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may lose myself in the span of thy light and become one with the glitter of thy shadow, O thou God, my God. Now remember, there's the exact same number of syllables in each one of these. And there is a repeating pattern. They all start off, O thou mighty God, make me as a, okay? And then right in the middle, it says, I beseech thee, O thou great God. And then it ends with the, O thou God, my God. Every one of them. have those elements in it, and the entire section is the same number of syllables. It's so cool. Such a great, brilliant idea. Sagittarius. O thou mighty God, make me as a green arrow of lightning that speedeth through the purple clouds of night. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may wake fire from the crown of thy wisdom and flash into the depths of thine understanding, O thou God, my God. Capricorn. O thou mighty God, make me as a flint-black goat that prances in a shining wilderness of steel. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may paw one flashing spark from thy splendor and be welded into the glory of thy might, O thou God, my God. Aquarius. O thou mighty God, make me as a sapphire waves that cling to the shimmering limbs of the green rocks. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may chant in foaming music thy glory and roll forth the eternal rapture of thy name, O thou God, my God. Pisces. O thou mighty God, make me as a silver fish, darting through the vast depths of the dim-peopled waters. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may swim in the vastness of thine abyss and sink beneath the waveless depths of thy glory, O thou God, my God. Aries. O thou mighty God, make me as a white ram that is athirst in the sun-scorched desert of bitterness. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may seek the deep waters of thy wisdom and plunge into the whiteness of thine effulgence, O thou God, my God. Taurus. O thou mighty God, make me as a thunder-smitten bull that is drunk upon the vintage of thy blood. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may bellow through the universe thy power and trample the nectar-sweet grapes of thine essence, O thou God, my God. Gemini. O thou mighty God, make me as a black eunuch of song that is twin-voiced, yet dumb in either tongue. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may hush my melody in thy silence and swell the sweet ecstasy of thy song, O thou God, my God. Cancer. O thou mighty God, make me as an emerald crab that crawlest over the wet sands of the seashore. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may write thy name across the shores of time and sink among the white atoms of thy being, O thou God, my God. Leo. O thou mighty God, make me as a ruby lion that roareth from the summit of a white mountain. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may echo forth thy lordship through the hills and dwindle into the nipple of thy bounty, O thou God, my God. And the 13th one is always the sun. O thou mighty God, make me as an all-consuming sun ablaze in the center of the universe. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may become as a crown upon thy brow and flash forth the exceeding fire of thy Godhead, O thou God, my God. O glory be unto thee through all time and through all space, glory and glory upon glory everlasting. Amen and amen and amen. That's the Virgo section that sort of opens up the Rite of Mercury and the Invocation of Mercury. First probationer, gets up and says, O Lord of all harmony, master of the right will, thou who hast brought unto us the divine seeds of self-knowledge, we, the humble servants of the children of thy voice, we call on thee to lead us out of our ignorance. And everybody joins in. We call thee, O thou thrice holy. First probationer continues, O thou divine worker, master of all that is divine, herald of all that is coming, builder of our house, holy art thou that knowest the supreme mysteries. We call thee, O thrice holy. O thou God, all good, we call thee. And then Virgo stands up and says, not good alone, brethren, but all complete in perfect equilibrium. Excuse me, just for a second. This is Mercury calling. Hello, Robert. I'm right in the.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm right in the middle of my my morning show. Can I give?
Oh, I'll call back later.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you a call right after the show.
Okay.
Okay.
See you then. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. That's kind of funny because that was our dear friend, our dear old friend, Robert Patton, and you may know stories of Robert Patton from my books, My Life with the Spirits, and other things. He truly is in my life. He's the mercurial and Capricornus emissarius and everything else. It was so magical that he called. I had to take the call. He's the one that early in our friendship we called him Mad Bob. Okay, I wouldn't be here interested in this stuff with. Okay, that was the god Mercury himself calling. So, the invocation. The invocation must be working. Okay, let's kind of skip to the invocation part of this. Okay. Mercury stands up. At the ending of the light, at the limits of the night, stood Mercury before the unborn ones of time. Then was formulated the universe. Then came forth the gods thereof, the aeons of the bornless beyond. Then was the voice vibrated. Then was the name declared. At the threshold of entrance, between the universe and the infinite, in the sign of the enterer, stood Mercury before him. The aeons were, stood Mercury, as before him the aeons were proclaimed. In symbols did he record them. In breath did he vibrate them. For between the darkness and the light did he stand. Technically, actually, it said, for between the light and the darkness did he stand. Then there's other lengthy poems and a few back and forths. And then Mercury begins the invocation in earnest. Majesty of the Godhead, wisdom-crowned Thoth, Lord of the gates of the universe, thee we invoke. O thou of the ibis head, thee we invoke. Thou who wieldest the wand of double power, thee we invoke. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of light and life, thee we invoke. O thou whose head is as an emerald, and thy nemesis as the night sky blue. Thou whose skin is a flaming orange, as though it burned in a furnace. Thee we invoke. Now that's the first section of a classic formula of invocation. O thou this, thou that, we invoke thee. We invoke thee that art this, and all your attributes and everything else. Okay, there's a level of consciousness where you are saying, addressing it as an other. Okay, there's duality. There's the worshiper and the worshipped, but then the worshipped answers. Behold, I am yesterday, today, and the brother of the morrow. I am born again and again. Mine is the unseen force from which the gods are sprung, that giveth life unto the dwellers of the watchtowers of the universe. I am the charioteer of the east, lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dusk, and whose birth is from the house of death. O ye twin hawks upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who company the bier into the house of rest, ye who pilot the ship of Ra, ever advancing toward the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine which standeth in the center of the earth. And then you join those two. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. And now you're speaking from that melded position. Behold, he is in me, and I in him. Mine is the radiance in which Ptah floateth over his firmament. I travel on high. I tread upon the firmament of Nu. I raise the flashing flame of the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing forward in the splendor of the daily glorified Ra, giving my life to the dwellers of earth. If I say, come up upon the mountains, the celestial waters shall flow at my word. For I am Ra incarnate, Kephra, created in the flesh. I am the image of my father Tamu, the Lord of the city of the sun. The God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is my heart. My tongue is a sanctuary of truth, and a God sitteth on my lips. My word is accomplished every day, and the desire of my heart realizes itself, like that of Ptah when he creates his work. I am eternal. Therefore, everything acts according to my designs, and everything obeys my words. Therefore I say unto thee, come forth unto me. Now the magician persona returns. Therefore I say unto thee, come forth unto me from thine abode in the silence, unutterable wisdom, all light, all power, Thoth, Hermes, Mercury, Odin, by whatever name I call thee, thou art still unnamed and nameless to eternity. Come forth, I say, and aid me and guard me in this work of art. O thou star of the east, that didst conduct the Magi, thou art the same all-present in heaven and in hell, thou that vibratest betwixt the light and the darkness, rising, descending, ever changing, ever the same. The sun is thy father, thy mother the moon. The wind hath borne thee in its bosom, and the earth hath nourished the changeless Godhead of thy youth. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto me, so that every spirit of the firmament and of the ether, of the earth and under the earth, on dry land and in the water, of whirling air and of rushing fire, and every spell and scourge of God be me obedient unto me. That's where the invocation section ends in the Rite of Mercury. I don't want to spoil the complete end of it, but I will. Mercury, like the certain parts of the gospel story of Christ is not so much a solar story, but a Mercury story. Especially when it comes to the betrayal at the Last Supper. It needs to happen. Okay? In the same way that Mercury needs to, when it comes down the tree of life, needs to make room and make way for the rite of Luna, which comes right after this. So Mercury, in the final moment of this ritual, whispers a word, okay? And this word is a magic word, is a supreme word. It's called the supreme word. And there's two kinds of supreme words. There's the supreme word that encapsulates in a Shazam word the entire formula of the invocation or of the ceremony. Of the formula of the magic of the invocation. But there's another kind of supreme word that encapsulates the entire momentum, the entire dynamics of the ritual itself, of the ceremony itself. So one is the formula and one encapsulates the ceremony itself. And this particular word is the word that encapsulates the ceremony. And it is a word that uses, if you can imagine a tree of life starting at Kether and then moving toward Bina, number 3, and going straight down the pillar of severity, or when you're facing a tree of life, it's the left pillar, all the way down to manifesting in Malkuth. Okay, so it's like a lightning flash, and the lightning flash goes down the left side of the tree from top to bottom. And it uses the Coptic equivalent of the Hebrew letters of each of the Sephiroth and the paths in that lightning flash. So it's a that comes down the left side of the tree and hits that Hode Mercury thing in number 8 before it goes down. So it's the Shazam word, and you try to pronounce it, it's almost unpronounceable, but it looks like that. Okay. Stebet Shephesh Mephishes. Stebetifish Mephishes. Want me to do it again? Stebetifish Mephishes. And that's how we'll end today. We'll see you tomorrow. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Stebetifish Mephishes.